Okay, in class today we talked about subtracting mixed numbers like we did on homework yesterday, but today we have to borrow to be able to subtract. So that was a little bit of a different concept. So for homework, you were supposed to do some practice problems, and we're just going to go over a couple of those problems to help you if you left today a little bit confused. Our number one, we have 6, and they want us to subtract 3 3/4 from a whole number of 6. So I want to look at a picture of what that looks like, so I think it would be easier. And I'm going to use Miss Guerra's story of going to the grocery store and buying frozen pizzas. So I go to the grocery store, buy 6 frozen pizzas. Okay, we go home, put them in the freezer. Now you have to think, frozen pizzas from the grocery store is not cut. So we have 6 whole pizzas. We're going to have to cut them ourselves. Our problem asks us to take away 3 3/4. Now look at your whole pizzas. How am I going to take away 3/4? Well, that's our problem, is our pizzas are not cut yet. So how are we going to cut our pizza so that we can take away 3/4? Well, in my freezer I have 6. I need to take one of those pizzas out, which means I will only have 5 left. And so my one pizza that I'm going to take out of the freezer, I have to cut into pieces. I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces so that I'm able to take 3 of those 4 away. Well, this fraction is represented by 4/4 because right now I have not taken any pieces away yet. So it's still 4 pieces out of 4 total pieces. So we started with 6. I took 1 out of the freezer to cut up. I've got it cut in 4ths. Now can I take away 3 whole pieces, pizzas, and 3/4 of one pizza? Yes, because now I have it cut up. So 3 whole pizzas is easy. We get rid of 1, 2, 3. And then 3/4 of a pizza. Well, now that I have this one cut up into 4ths, I can take away 1, 2, 3 pieces. What I have left is 1, 2 whole pizzas and 1 piece out of the 4 that I cut it up into. So look at my problem here. All we do is we take our whole numbers, 5 minus 3, you get 2. 4 minus 3 is 1, and your denominator stays the same. So it's 2 1/4. So on my homework, how I would show that is I would borrow from the 6. 6 becomes a 5. Remember, I cut my 1 into 4/4. And then I would need to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1, and bring down your denominator. Okay, let's look at number 2. We have 7, let's do cakes. 7 cakes. And I want to bring those to school to give to you guys. I need 4 2/3 to bring to school so that everybody gets the same amount. The problem is I'm looking at my cakes and they're whole. I have 7 whole cakes, so how am I supposed to bring 4 cakes and then 2/3 of another cake? So I need to take one of my cakes. I'm going to take this one, and I need to cut it into thirds. So I'm going to cut it into thirds. I don't need the whole thing. So I still have my 7, but one of them's cut up. So I borrowed, or I took one of my cakes out, Now I have 6 whole ones left. And since I haven't taken any pieces out of this yet, it's 3/3 because there are 3 pieces out of 3 pieces total. Now I need to take them to school so you guys can have cake. I need to bring 4 whole cakes, but only 2/3 of the 5th one. So what do I have left? I have 2 whole cakes and 1 out of 3 pieces, which is 1/3. So if I put that into a subtraction problem, 6 minus 4 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1, your denominator you bring down is 3. So just using my numbers without the picture, what that would look like is I had to borrow from the 7. The 7 becomes a 6. And remember, I cut my cake up into 3 pieces but hadn't used one yet, so they're 3/3. And then I subtracted. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Leave your denominator as is. Try one on your own, pause the video, and then come back and check one with me. Okay, so you should have paused the video and then checked with me to see if you're correct. I'm going to give you a picture for this one too. We'll go back to pizzas. We've got 4 pizzas. Let's have you bought the pizzas this time. You're going to have some friends over and you are going to use 2 1/8. The problem is we have 4 holes. We don't have any cut up. So I need to cut up one of the 4 pizzas into 8s. So I'm going to take one of the 4 pizzas, I'm going to take this one, which means I have 3 whole pizzas left, and I'm going to cut this one up into 8s. Well, right now nobody's eaten any yet, so I have 3 whole pizzas and 8 8s. Now I can subtract. 3 pizzas, I need to take 2 of them away, so I'm going to take 2. I have 1 left over. My 8 8s, I only need to take 1 of those pieces. 8 minus 1 is 7, so I have 7 pieces left out of an 8 total. On your paper, that would look like this. Since you don't have a fraction, I need to borrow. The 4 becomes a 3. I took 1 away. And then remember, I cut up that pizza into 8 pieces. 3 minus 2 is 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. Leave your denominator the same. Now number 4 is a little different. Why don't you pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back and check with me. Okay. So you should try this one on your own. First of all, I'm going to rewrite it so that it's stacked, like the ones that we just did, not side to side. What do you notice is different? Well, you should notice that we have a whole number and we have a fraction, but we don't have a whole number with that fraction. Well, anytime we have a whole number and nothing under it, we know that there is a 0 right there, so you can write that in. It's still the same concept. You have 5 pizzas. You need to take away 3/4 of a pizza, but you can't because the pizzas are whole, they're not cut up yet. So we need to take 1 pizza, which makes 4 whole pizzas. We're going to take that 1 pizza and cut it up into 4ths. 4 minus 0 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down your denominator. If you had 5 pizzas and you subtract 3/4 of the 5 pizzas, you would be left with 4 1/4. Let's try one more. Pause the video, come back and check with me. Okay, same thing. I'm going to rewrite because I want them stacked. I do not have a whole number under the 2 to go with the 1/5, so I am going to write in a 0. And I also don't have a fraction here. So remember, our pizza story, we've got 2 frozen pizzas, they're not cut up, they're whole. But I need to subtract 1/5 from my pizzas. Well, I don't have a fifth to subtract. So I'm going to take one of my pizzas away. That leaves me with 1 whole pizza. I'm going to cut the pizza up that I took into 5 pieces. Right now I have 5 out of 5 because nobody's eaten any. I still have 1 pizza left because 1 minus 0 is 1. But the one that I cut up, we're going to eat 1 piece. 5 minus 1 is 4. So 4 pieces are left out of the 5. So that's 1 4/5.